Well, welcome to the Event Rider Masters review show for leg one here at the Dodson and Horrell Chatsworth International Horse Trials. And what a leg it has been. Drama through all three phases. I'm delighted to be joined by not one, but two halves of Echo Rating, Sam Watson and Byrne with me. We're just going to take a few moments and sort of go through the action. Piggy French, our winner, finished on her dressage score at Chatsworth. We'll start with that because how difficult is that to do, Derm?
Oh, incredibly difficult. I mean, we're now at 1,460 people. Combinations have taken on the CIC three-star class here at Chatsworth. That stretches all the way back to 1999, and for it only to be 6, and now 5 of those 6 have come in the Event Rider Masters legs. Incredible achievement. Only won this year. Did it under pressure. I wouldn't rule that out as well. Had to do it when there was people chasing her down. She didn't play for, a tactical round because she couldn't afford to, but incredible achievement.
And she made the time, Sam. A lot of that was her performance across the country because it was very easy, very flawless. She didn't waste time. She took tight lines.
It was an exhibition. You would clip that, and people need to go back and watch that on the Event Rider Masters website because it's cross-country perfection. It's very difficult to, Dim's given us the stats, 6 people in 1,460 to actually make the time here. But to do it so smoothly and so clinically is just a testament to her ability, to the horse's ability, and I would put huge emphasis on their training. I think that's what it's about. And I'm drawn to the fact that they have a 4.8 winning margin, which is 12 seconds, and I'm looking forward to getting into the office this week, putting all these numbers through the system and actually getting some ratings back, because I think that's one of the best performances we've ever seen in a Masters. It was right up there with Upsilon at Barbary. Is so impressive to finish on a very low score back then as well. Piggy's finished, she's beaten that score of 28, which we've highlighted as a real important benchmark. That's what badminton was won on this year. Finishing with this new scoring system in the 20s is a huge thing to do, and to do it at Chatsworth, some of the most testing terrain in the world for a short format class. Only 6 minutes and 5 seconds the optimum time here. That's short, and when you combine a short time on a twisty course with a lot of hills, it's very nearly impossible, but she is now in the Super 6.
The Super 6. We like the Super 6. That's going to stick, I think, until Chatsworth next year, because this year actually saw the removal of the coefficient. It was oh, you look like you found something.
You know what
Go on.
look.
The look of the excitement.
Well, it's very interesting. Sam mentioned the finishing score, and it just drove me to think there won't be many better. And there isn't not many better. There's one better. Gemma Tattersall and Quick Look last year, they hold a record 25.7, but that's now gone in as the second best score, that 27.3 finish. That goes ahead of Bettina Hoy, Designer 10 in 2017. They finished on a adjusted score of 27.8 when you take into account the change. So that's the second best test we've seen since 2008.
Here at Chatsworth. And
Absolutely,
I
yes.
imagine one of the better Event Rider Masters finishing scores that we've seen as well, because it was consistent in all three phases. Finishing on your dressage score, the FOD, Echo Ratings talk about the FOD a lot. She's done it here. I know Chatsworth, we've talked about how difficult it is to do it, but just what makes that so special? What makes that so hard to beat?
Well, it's so hard to get everything right. That's what eventing sort of gets overlooked about. Where's Maxime Livio? He should have been on that podium, and he's not completed today. Pippa Funnel and Sandman, really a combination with proven performance. Great to see them back. A huge first phase, and then 2 show jumps down. Mr. Bass just missing on the podium because he pulled out a personal best dressage, absolutely nailed the first phase, and then I would have said that was potentially a pressure moment for Laura when her rail, potentially a bit of rider error coming in there. And they have the rail, but we're picking out little moments over 3 phases, over 2 days of intense competition. So that's why finishing on that starting score from the dressage phase, and when Piggy started on a score of 27.3, so 72.7%, it's a really strong first phase as well, and it's as close to perfect a performance you're going to see, and that's what it should take to win a Masters. So I'm delighted she's done it. She deserves it. Full of talent, and great to see her there.
Another person who was very close to finishing on their dressage score, not quite able to do it, but probably the next best person in the field. We'll talk about Sarah Ennis, Horseware Stella Rebound, because they are serious Chatsworth specialists. They've been here 4 times. They've won, they've been second, they were 8th on their Masters debut in 2016, and second here again. That is an incredible run of form in one really tough venue.
The one I would be drawn to is 8th almost looks like the outlier, but actually the 8th on our ratings sits ahead of the second. You know, so it is, that was 2016. And if you remember back to Chatsworth 2016, Sam, we've consistently looked at that as one of the top rated Event Rider Masters class that we've ever seen. That was the year that we had, it was the very first Event Rider Masters class. That was Kitty King and Cedar Lan. I remember at the finish, you know, that they set the dressage record for Event Rider Masters that ran all the way up until Upsilon. That was a strong field. So while that 8th looks like a little bit of an outlier, it's actually first, second, a very, very high quality 8 and another second. So I wouldn't let that look as a poor result sitting in there. This is a core specialist, absolutely, no doubt.
And we've seen it with Andrew Nicholson at Barbary, Oliver Townend at Byrne Market. Sometimes people just get into a routine that, and for Sarah Ennis, it's we're going to pack up the truck, we're going to get on the boat, we're going to go over to Chatsworth. We do it every year, and we're going to deliver our best. And she obviously has the horse right for this time of year. She's learned how to ride around this course. She knows what it takes, and they enjoy themselves when they're here. And I've been spending a good bit of time with Sarah all week, and there was just never any doubt at all through the whole week that she was going to deliver a really competitive performance. She pulled it out in the dressage, but it was kind of, you know, it's as expected. And same in the show jumping, a clear round and fast on the cross country. It's just what they do. I don't think she'll even be thinking, God, we really pulled it out this week. That's just very normal for Sarah Ennis at Chatsworth.
I mean, she was second fastest of the day cross country, 2 time penalties, just the 1 time penalty in the show jumping. She can take a little bit of something from it that actually, even without those 3 penalties, she couldn't have beaten Piggy French. Piggy French was unassailable for her.
Yeah, I think so, because she had a moment, Sarah. I mean, there was one moment with a table when Rocket cat-like, he got all his legs out of the way, and then just that last corner, which we said was going to be the place towards the end of the course, when a combination of really been going for it to just, can they keep that control on the turn? And it was close, but Rocket wants to jump his fences. He loves Chatsworth as much as Sarah does, I think.
One word on 3rd place, Izzy Taylor, Call Me Maggie May. You know, she won the series finale at Blenheim last year, but this would be her next best placing in Event Rider Masters leg. Actually, Call Me Maggie May really did deliver in all 3 phases. Perhaps we didn't put them up on the preview show, Derm, but they actually really deserved to be there at the end of the day.
Yeah, another lesson. I mean, you never write them off, but first thing I would be drawn to on that magic number of 30 was where they started in their dressage. You know, they weren't going to be too far off it, so that was the key number. They got themselves into a competitive position from the start. Nicole, I would go as far as to say, looking at Izzy Taylor's string, with the potential of Be Touchable coming back, that performance today, because you're able to get, we saw Gemma doing this, because you're able to pick up valuable points with perhaps on the day when you're not expected to, or perhaps on the day when you're not riding the fastest horse that you've got around one of the toughest time tracks, you still go and pick up those podium places. Izzy Taylor is right now, as of tonight, the bookies' favourite for the 2018 Event Rider Master Series. I would find it very hard to find a rider that we would put past Izzy now. People may talk about Janelle. You know, Gemma's a defending champion. Oliver Townend is going to be coming back strong. You've got to look at people with big strings who can take on all the different types of tracks, and people that can travel, because we're now very much European in this. So where can we pick up those points? For me, Izzy Taylor is, as of tonight, the favourite to take the 2018 Event Rider Masters.
It's interesting, actually, looking at the top 10, nobody in that list, as far as I can see, is going to Wiesbaden next week. So between here and Wiesbaden, the people that pick up big, strong points early on are really going to lay down their challenge. Izzy's done so here. You know, so has Piggy. Perhaps not with the strength and depth and horsepower, but if people like Bill Levitt could pull out a big result next weekend, you know, you've got Sarah Cohen-Treason, admittedly just the 1 horse, so challenging for the series is tough, but next weekend is going to be a big one to watch as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very open series this year. I think Oliver Townend, he won't let this series go without giving it a go at some point. He came onto the scene very late when he was the series champion in the first year in 2016. He's going to be a player. That's what you're looking for. Is there's a few things are required. Obviously, you've got to have a top rider with a top string of horses. But also riders that are capable, like Piggy French, like Izzy Taylor, like Oliver Townend, like Christopher Burton, like Astier Nicola today, who can just negotiate these CIC 3-star classes and particularly the cross-country rounds smoothly, effectively, efficiently, and come back with low scores in that final round. Because when we're going reverse order, top 10, that's what you need.
It sounded simple enough, didn't it?
I know.
Smoothly,
Nothing
efficiently, quietly, quickly. Low dressage,
Clear
finish
show
on
jumping.
it. Magic number 30.
End of. That's all you need to do.
Good
Boom.
night.
That's it. That's all it takes to win an Event Rider Masters leg. Anything else we want to mention that's taken our eye throughout the weekend? Because there's been a number of notable performances. I think one of my highlights would actually be Astier Nicola and Alert Alamir, because the reigning 7-year-old world champion and 8-year-olds coming forward in this kind of field at a venue like Chatsworth for the very first time, actually finishing 10th with one of the fastest rounds of the day. You know, he only had 9.2 time penalties, which was quick. He finishes 10th. That is one to keep an eye on this season.
Yeah, for sure. And with a leg in Jardy as well, it'll be interesting to see where he's going to deliver there. What he does with this horse. I wouldn't forget the horse who's just missed the podium there. Laura Collett, Mr. Bass. She's got a couple of horses, you know, in London, he's a horse coming
London
through.
52.
And we sometimes see those horses being very effective at just picking up place points. That's you mentioned Santiago Bay, but those younger horses just contributing to points all the time. And it could be one of those years where, you know, 5 or 6 good top 5 places.
Laura has Grand Maneuver as well, who's going to be focused on the Event Rider Masters series this year. I think that actually could be one to keep an eye on in the series.
And she'll fit another one in with Mr. Bass, at least.
Laura Collett's the favourite for Event Rider Masters.
He's going to change his mind now. There we go. Team, thank you very much. We've loved having the echo rating stats throughout the weekend, and we'll be having more of the same next weekend in Wiesbaden, because the Event Rider Masters series is underway, and my word, it carries on quickly, because next weekend all of the action heads to Germany, Wiesbaden, on Friday and Saturday. We will be live with you, eventridermasters.tv. Ingrid Klimke, Horseware Hail Bob, the combination that are the reigning European champions. They come forward to try and win the title that Ingrid was so close to. Sarah Cohen won it last year with Treason. She comes back to defend that title as well. Make sure you tune in, because it promises to be just as exciting as all of the action here at Chatsworth. Thank you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the Event Rider Masters review show. We'll see you next week in Wiesbaden.